those repeated matchups, especially for teams where you maybe have a long history, and not having that every year, that kind of stinks.
I agree. The protected rivalries, it's tough for Illinois because it feels like Northwestern and Purdue are the two that you're going to get often. I do. It is tough. At
least those are in your weight class, right?
Yeah.
Like, there have been times where you don't want to play Wisconsin every year because that has been chalked up as a loss.
Well, I think you also had the Big Ten West kind of created. It was such a joke in terms of trying to win a Big Ten West title, but that had just created, you've seen those teams every year. So you started to get the Iowa. You knew you were going to play Iowa every year. That was a big game. Wisconsin, obviously Purdue, Northwestern, and now it does feel like, there's going to be no juice for Oregon. And there's going to be no juice for even playing some of the former East teams like Michigan State and Rutgers. There's just nothing to get excited about with those, or at least even if there wasn't maybe a true heated rivalry on the football side for Illinois, you at least had the Big Ten West opponents for so many years that you had built all these, whether it was the 63-0 Iowa game or some of these other memories that you wanted to kind of avenge. And now you're just not going to get that because you might play a team, not play them 2 more years, and then the next time you play them is 2028. And it's tough. Even if something big happens, if there's a brawl in a game and you don't see that team for another 2 seasons, then by that point everyone's going to forget about it, and it's not going to be a rivalry that stays and that you can kind of go back to every year.
That's just one of the things that I loved about Illinois basketball's resurgence, and you outlined why it's different. But to have those clashes with Iowa, to have those clashes with Michigan, to recently have clashes with Purdue, even though they haven't gone Illinois' way, you've got some bad blood, some heightened emotions, some extra storylines and stakes to it than just the game itself. And while Illinois football is a long ways from being where Brad Underwood and company were a handful of years ago when they were, getting to the top 5 of the Big Ten in that 2019-20 season, and obviously the 1 seed, and we know the rest of the story here. But if Illinois was to make a climb, or even just to punch around in their weight class, if it is a new weight class at some point where maybe you're closer to Wisconsin than you've ever been, or last year, 2 years ago, you beat Iowa. You've been close to Iowa here recently. That's another one where maybe you're starting some things up with them that you didn't have before, where you just go to Kinnick and lose by 4 touchdowns every time. So that's where I wish maybe there was some more of that. Maybe I'm just looking at it as the media guy who likes the storylines and the pre-game interviews and sound bites and whatever. But I don't know. I think that's something that adds to it and adds intrigue and interest.
Anything to get more of what the Illinois-Purdue dynamic was in basketball this past year, the Illinois-Iowa 2021 dynamic, that's the best. It's just that those are so awesome. Creating more of those is exactly what we need. And Illinois' never really had it in football since I've been alive. And it's because, what are you going to start a rivalry with a perennial 4-win program? That's usually not what's happening. But, I do want more of the bad blood and the rivalries. That's what makes college sports fun.
Let me put that out to the text line, 217-359-2255 on the Max Twin City Recycling text line. Thoughts on this Illinois and Wisconsin feud? Does it have staying power? Should it? Is Brett Bielema being petty? What do you think about that? And school us, younger folks, if I dare say that. When's the last bad blood Illinois football against somebody rivalry or extra juice, extra storylines? Remind us of that if we're missing one, or if there was one, back in the 80s when Mike White had it going. What was that looking like for Illini football? Have they had that before, and will they have that again? I think that's something that we're all wondering about here in the new landscape of college football. I want to talk some more football as we go along. We will dive into baseball, Dylan Cease's no-hitter, and some trade deadline targets for our respective squads. What are the Cubs going to do? Can the Cardinals add a big piece? We'll talk about all that and more. Stay Stick with us. It is The Drive.
When your pipes are in a pinch and your drains are feeling the strain, who do you call? The plumbing pros, of course. At Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, they're your reliable partners in all things plumbing. From leaky faucets to clogged drains, they can get any problem you have cleaned up and taken care of. Their licensed plumbers are on call 24/7, ready to swoop in and save the day whenever a plumbing emergency strikes. Don't let a plumbing problem ruin your day. Call at 217-841-4728 or visit them online at dogtownheatingandair.com. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club?
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
You get the best deal.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
In an ever-changing real estate market, it is so important to work with experienced agents like Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor teams at Taylor Realty Associates. They have the knowledge and expertise to get your home sold for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Trust the experience and success of Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor team at Taylor Realty Associates. Give them a call today at 217-355-0700 or visit them online at taylorboys.com. That's taylorboys.com.
At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people. Ow! A spring just hit me!
Mom, the couch is broken again.
It's about time we get rid of that clunky couch and look into buying a new one.
What about Two Men in a Junk Truck? Their professional moving team does a great job assisting with downsizing, home renovations, and clearing out old items you need hauled away.
Wow, it sounds like it'll make much more space in this house once the couch is hauled away.
I just pulled it up on my phone. You can schedule an appointment online at twomeninajunktruck.com.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign